All right, welcome fans. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Songs. And today we've got none other than the Outfield. We did the Outfield rank the albums about a couple months ago, and we promised we would be ranking the songs. And it seems like, when you rank songs, a lot of people think, oh, you're just going to go through the hits and just put them in some kind of an order. It's not what we do over here. I actually look at every song, every album, every not B-side, every rare track of every artist when we do these type of rankings. And that's why if you look at some of our rankings that we did on the channel here, you'll notice that we got a lot of rarities on here and songs you might not even know, and it's just how we feel, how strongly we feel about a specific song is where it's going to fall. So without further ado, we're going to break down what our favorite top 10 outfield songs are in order. And we're going to kick it off with our number 10, all the way from the Anytime Now album. And that is going to be the song called Photograph. I don't know, it's just something about this song I like. I really like a lot. And it just, to me, it just stands out really well. It's probably going to be the only song from Anytime Now. It's definitely the cream of the crop from that album. And, like all the other songs, it just stands out the most from that particular album. And then for me, it's just, just a great song. I actually did a song ranking of the title Photograph, and this song popped up on that list along with the obvious choices of like Ringo Starr and his version of Photograph and Def Leppard and their classic version. Take a look at that video if you see it. Take a look at our channel. You'll find it there. So yeah, Photograph from Anytime Now, number 10. And now it's going to take us down to number 9. And our number 9 song is probably going to be a bit of a surprise. And just to give you a quick rundown, it's the only Outfield song to feature an outside writer, and that would be Rick DeFonso. Yeah, John Spinks gets credit on here as well, but all the other Outfield songs are usually mostly all John Spinks, or Tony Lewis has a hand in a few of them. But there really isn't anybody else has ever written a song that the Outfield has recorded. So Rick DeFonso is the man here. So Long Way Home obviously comes from Bangin', is the song that we're discussing here, number 9. And Bangin' is one of these albums that deserved a better fate. Obviously, I think it was produced by William Whitman, who did a fantastic job. I mean, this album has a little bit of everything on it, and I think that was probably the kiss of death over it as far as sales go, because of the fact it didn't have that clear cut hit singles like the way the initial debut did. That one, Play Deep, just had a bundle of songs that were made for radio, and they just did great on the charts, and you had a great song like Your Love to kick it all off. But Bangin' only had only one that really charted, and for some reason it just never really caught on like its predecessor. But to me, Long Way Home is definitely one of the best songs this group has ever recorded. Just give it a good listen, and you'll see why. So that's our number 9. Number 8, and this is going to go back to the debut. It peaked at number 19 on the singles charts, and that's none other than All the Love. Just a great standout track. It was the third single released from the album, and it fared very well coming off the heels of Your Love. At that point, people knew who the Outfield were, and the rest is history there. So All the Love, a great stellar song that stands out, number 8 for us on our ranking of the album, the songs of the Outfield. Number 7 is going to take us back to the Voices of Babylon album, none other than Shelter Me. This album features a lot more radio-friendly songs, although another album that never really got a lot of airplay on the radio either. I mean, at that point, it's hard to say why, because they geared that album more towards trying to get exposure on the radio to push these songs. And Shelter Me is definitely one of the highlights on this album, without a doubt. I've always loved this song. Nice, soft ballad. Tony's vocals are impeccable on it. And just to me, it just really, really stands out as one of the shining tracks on the album. So we got it at number 7. And number 6, we're going to go back to the first single released by these guys all the way back in 1985. And that's none other than Say It Isn't So, the first track from Play Deep. Never charted, oddly enough, but most Outfield fans love this song. It's the first song on the album. When they put that album on, Play Deep, which is the best Outfield album, right away, that song hits them. Say It Isn't So. Just a great song. And of course, it helps set the table for Your Love, which would have came next on the album. And in sequencing, I think they did a great job on the sequencing on that album. I think that's another thing that really helped out here. Yeah, so Say It Isn't So. We've got it number 6. And number 5, we're going back to Bangin' with Bangin' on My Heart. Another single that was released that did not chart, unfortunately. Bangin', that was the problem with Bangin'. It was a good album, but it just wasn't, I think, what many fans were expecting as the follow-up to Play Deep. They were looking for Play Deep Part 2. The band decided, hey, we want to show everybody, what else we can do here than just write hit songs and the lot there. So Banging on My Heart, basically the title track on the album, second single released. It did make number 40 on the US rock charts, which is a separate chart from the singles charts. So, there's that. It's a great song, no doubt. We got to hear, obviously all the way at number 5. It's one of those songs you really don't hear that much anymore, unfortunately. You figure you'd hear it more on the 80s channels and stuff like that, but you really don't hear it that much, which is kind of surprised because it's a great song and it definitely caught our attention as we have it ranked at number 5. And number 4, we're going to an album we haven't talked about yet. So that is going to be the 1992 release Rock Eye. And the first single released from that was this song here, Closer to Me. This is one of those songs where kind of just hits you right out of the gate from that guitar riff right to Tony's vocals when he kicks it right into gear. Just a great song. It's like seemed like it was a great concert opener too for the band. It really went over quite well. I felt that this song should have definitely done more. It did reach 43, so it just bubbled under at the top 40. And then same with the US rock charts. It reached only number 46. Canada peaked at 78. So it's just wasn't strong enough, I guess, to appease at that point. You'd be looking 1992, so we're already in the where the music began to change, where grunge had already started its ascent there, and the Outfield were considered, this was their 5th album, Rock Eye, so they were already considered prehistoric old band already at that point, even though they had just been around about 7 years. But they were withering away with MCA on their last 2 major label releases, and unfortunately, this is a song that had it been on the first or second album, we'd probably be talking, top 20 song, perhaps. Who knows? Just weird how certain things can change things, unfortunately. I'll bet you I would have to say probably, that some of these songs I brought up here, even the producers and the record executives are all kind of scratching their heads wondering, well, why didn't these songs do better? They're such great songs. And it's true, they are, just sometimes you just have to hit everything just right. You got to come along at the right time when people are looking for something new, something fresh, or something that's going to really catch their attention. And unfortunately, some songs don't catch it like you want it to. So number four, Closer to Me. Now we're getting down to the top three, and got to go with number number three's coming from Voices of Babylon. It's what I feel is the best song on the album by a mile. I remember the first time I ever heard it, I said, this should be the hit. This should be the song. This should be the one that really puts this album over the top. And sadly, it only peaked at number 72, but it was none other than My Paradise. Just a great vocal, great feeling song. I just love the whole guitar. I love Alan Jackman's drumming, everything about this song, Tony's vocals. It's a classic Outfield song. And unfortunately, by the time they got to Voices of Babylon, they had a whole different production team in there, and it seemed like the band they were trying to make them do hits, trying to make them write hit singles and songs that were going to get a lot of airplay on the radio. And I thought the band did a good job with a lot of the songs. It's just for whatever reason, not enough to to get what they were looking for overall. Obviously. The album never even was certified at all, so it didn't go anywhere near Bangin', which was its predecessor. Um, Surprisingly peaking at number 53. So yeah, that's a far cry from number 18 of Bangin', and that's just in 2 years down the road. Of course, Alan Jackman left right after the recording of the album, and I happened to see the Voices of Babylon tour. I thought thought it was great. They played a lot of pretty much a little bit of everything from each of the three albums at that point, including a lot of good songs on Bangin' that I never heard live at that point. So that was cool. And it was a great tour, no doubt. I'm so glad I got to see it because that would unfortunately be the last time I ever seen them ever live. 1989, Voices of Babylon. So yeah, My Paradise number three. Number two, we're going back to banging. And what can you say about the best song on banging other than why wasn't this song higher on the charts? And why was it placed last on the album? That's what a lot of people say. Since You've Been Gone, it reached number 31, which I guess has it, I guess, at one as one of the highest charting songs for the band. Made top 40. Obviously, they only had like a maybe five or six songs that reached top 40, and this is one of them. But since you've been gone, you really couldn't go anywhere. Back in 1987, if you were listening to standard pop radio, you couldn't really go anywhere without not hearing this song. I mean, it was everywhere. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough, I guess. I remember the album came out in June of '87, and I remember hearing that song all summer long. And yeah, it was definitely the standout track, like I said, from Bangin'. I just love this song. Um, just a great song, and the second best Outfield song in my book, Since You've Been Gone. And that takes us to what else? Number one. And as many times, sometimes you might hear a song and you might say, "Man, I am sick of hearing this song. Can't they play something else by this band?" I don't think too many people say that about this one though. This is just one of these great songs that no matter how many times I hear it, I just never get sick of it. It's just a great song, and the delivery of the song by, Tony's great vocals, John's great guitar playing, Alan's drumming, it all just came together. The highest charting song from this band, none other than Your Love, which peaked at number 6, the only top 10 song for the band. And this song was everywhere, MTV. It was pretty much on every other music station, that would show any type of music videos, all over radio. And even proms would use this as as their theme song. I remember a prom that I went to that year, also was using this song as a theme song. And when they played it, man, I swear the dance floor got all completely filled up for like the only time that night where everybody was on the floor and enjoying the song and really getting into it. And this song is really, obviously it's a song that put the band on the map, and it really keeps them here. Unfortunately, at this point, this is where we have, we always got these memories to look back on. And this song was definitely, still is a great song, and it always will be. And Your Love, number 6 on the charts, and number 1 with us out of the all the Outfield songs. We rank it in number 1. And like every other ranking, we usually have a couple honorable mentions that maybe came very close to making the list, but for whatever reason they just didn't. I'm going to throw a couple out here. Obviously, Alone with You, the ballad from Bangin', third single released from the album, but surprisingly, it didn't chart. Really surprised by that one. That one definitely shocked me. I figured that one would have been at least in the lower part of the 30s on the singles charts, but for whatever reason, it just never charted. But a great song nonetheless. And another honorable mention we'll go with is an interesting song that I just kind of discovered. I mean, I knew the song and everything, but I just discovered there's different version out there on a different album, and that's Lay Down. Um, the version I'm used to is on Extra Innings, which is the only album that I have. I don't have the Ain't Over It Ain't Over album, unfortunately. But there's different. This song is different on there. They actually took 2 songs on that album and kind of merged them together somewhat to make this song on Extra Innings. But they did a phenomenal job putting this one together, because other than the 2 songs that are in separate versions on It Ain't Over, man, they really did a great work on Lay Down on the Extra Innings version, and that's why it's here. Phenomenal song, one of the great songs from the latter part of the catalog, and came close, but just not enough to make the top 10. And then one more we'll mention that actually was right on the cusp of making it. It comes from none other than an album that we hadn't brought up yet today, and that's 1990's Diamond Days. And so this song here that we're going to mention here was not a single. Only 2 singles were released for Diamond Days, and that was For You, which peaked at number 21, and Take It All. But I would say if they were going to do a third single, that this one maybe would have been it. I don't know. There's something about this song that I always liked. Very catchy, a little different from regular Outfield songs, but none other than Burning Blue. Just I've always loved this song. For some reason, it really stood out for me as one of the band's best songs. Came very close to cracking the top 10, just not enough to get in there, but very close. Definitely worth an honorable mention. So there you have it. We'll give you a quick rundown on the finals. Honorable mentions: Alone with You, Lay Down, Burning Blue. And the songs we got: number 10 was Photograph, number 9 was Long Way Home, 8, All the Love, 7, Shelter Me, 6, Say It Isn't So, 5, Banging on My Heart, 4, Closer to Me, 3, My Paradise, 2, Since You've Been Gone, and number 1, Your Love. Feel free to leave, songs that you that you like, that you feel are your top 10 Outfield songs. They don't necessarily have to be in any order because, that takes a little time to prepare. But if anybody's game, I mean, by all means, I would love to see, what kind of choices people have. Hey, even William Whitman, man, you're the one that produced the first two albums. If you happen to catch this video, even if it wasn't something you produced, maybe you want to just shove out 10 songs that you feel, were some of the best from this band. That'd be great, whether they're on the albums you worked on or not. It's just good to talk Outfield. That's all we really want to do here is just when we make these videos, we want to talk about the music of the band and, help bring out the legacy in the band. It's always good to talk about their history and what they made and, all about all the good of the band. It's always good to hear uh, the good stories and, whenever anybody has anything, it's always good to hear their side of things and their take on things. So definitely leave us some comments, whether you do it on the YouTube page itself or on the Outfield fan zone, whatever you want to do there. And don't be shy. Stop by our website. We got other stuff on there. There is an interview I did with Tony a few years back on there that you can always look at, and we also reviewed the replay album. So there's a couple things on there Outfield related. So if you ever get a chance and you want to catch some more things on the Outfield, definitely stop by and check them out at rockshowcritique.com. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day and be looking forward to hearing your takes and your comments. Thank you.